FA Umbro Trophy semi-final second leg, Southport v Slough Town, Hague Avenue, Southport. This afternoon Southport one game away from Wembley and the biggest day in their history. We're in the frame videos. I'm Alan Boardman, the match commentator. With me this afternoon is Peter Warburton. Peter was coach at Wigan Athletic and Altrincham in the 1970s and 80s. Peter, you've seen it all before, you've been in semi-finals yourself. What's your initial reaction to this occasion?
Well, the initial reaction, Alan, is, as always, the buzz and excitement as you come to the ground for the first time. You know, the band's playing. I'm sure it's not playing here every Saturday like this. You've seen the balloons behind us over there, and everybody is an air of expectancy about, as you say, the biggest game in Southport's history, and hopefully 90 minutes away from, you know, from that dream that every player really wants to be, that dream of playing at Wembley.
You've been to the Wembley, Peter. You'll remember these semi-finals. Southport are a goal in front at the moment from the first leg. How will they be approaching this big game?
Well, of course, very tense games, as you can imagine. I don't think the semi-final being played in the FA Cup this afternoon, and I'm sure with all their professionalism they'll still find that they're very tense, very anxious times for players and for management. But I can assure you, from talking to Billy Stewart just now, the goalkeeper and an old colleague, that they have prepared thoroughly for this, and they will have done. They played Slough once, they played them twice in the league. They know their opposition. They've been away last night, done everything right, been away to a hotel. They'll have trained extra for this. They will have prepared. Paul Futcher and Peter Wright, with all his experience, having been to Wembley before.
Welcome to Hague Avenue, Southport for the FA Trophy semi-final second leg here at Hague Avenue. This is the closest Southport have ever been to Wembley. It's the closest they've been to an appearance at the Twin Towers in their entire history. 90 minutes of football stand between the Sandgrounders and what would be quite a historic occasion. Slough Town are here to spoil the party. Southport with a 1-0 advantage from the first leg. Hague Avenue is absolutely full to the rafters this afternoon. The kick-off has been delayed. We're looking at 4,000 or 5,000 people in here this afternoon and looking forward to an absolutely immense occasion for Southport. Southport v Slough, FA Trophy semi-final. They don't come much bigger than this. The expectation level around Hague Avenue, absolutely electric this afternoon. A good number of supporters up from Slough. Can they do it? But for everybody connected with Southport Football Club, this certainly the biggest day since the Football League status, which ended in 1978. It's a late kick-off. Paul Futcher's side very much unchanged again from last week, and the goal scorer Steve Morris, his first senior goal for Southport, separates the two sides. Slough Town, several changes from the side from last week with suspensions. Corey Brown, Danny Bolt and Terry Angus returning to the side. Paul Hardiman has recovered from injury, but he is not in the lineup. The main danger for them, Brian Gary Brazil, 500 league appearances for him, most notably at Preston North End. And the referee this afternoon, Brian Coddington. So, well and truly into the trophy semi-final second leg. Southport, yellow and black stripes from left to right, kicking towards their own supporters. Here's Brian Ross, left-hand side. Peter Warburton's with me this afternoon. Peter was at Wigan Athletic and Altrincham. He's seen it all before in the trophy semi-final and finals. Peter's going to add some analysis for us this afternoon. A bright start, Peter.
Yes, players will be only glad after, especially after the 15-minute delay. They'll be glad to just get out there and get the game underway. All the preparation's been done. They'll just want to play now. and it's which who can settle down early, who gets a nice touch. It's going to be frantic first few minutes. It's the first time I've seen Slough this year, and my first impressions of the big physical side, and it'd be interesting to see how Southport cope with any set-piece moves. The pitch looks a little bit slippy as well, and bumpy.
Slough indeed, a big, strong, physical side, noted for their set pieces. Very difficult to break down away from home. 5 trophy ties away from home. They've overcome Baldock, Walton and Hersham, Halifax, Welling and Stevenage on the way here. So it's by no means all over Paul Futcher and his side. A lot of work to do for them. Paul was saying, Paul Futcher that is, earlier in the press this week, that the 1-0 advantage means very little at this stage. 90 minutes is a long time and a lot can happen.
That's absolutely true, Alan, but he'll be delighted if the score's the same after 90 minutes today.
A very big crowd here inside Haygav. The biggest so far this season was 3,952 against Hull York City in the FA Cup. I think we may well beat that this evening.
Oh, not since any doubt whatsoever, and I say it's been a good atmosphere in the pre-match build-up and everything. I mean, everything is set today for Southport going on and having that glorious weekend out at London and hopefully coming back with the FA Trophy. Everything's set for that.
Somebody will be very happy this afternoon. One of the 2 sets of supporters will go home absolutely elated. Let's hope it's Southport. Here they come now with Steve Morris, looking to link with Brian Ross. These two have formed an impressive partnership. Futcher feeds it out to Andy Farley, and the effervescent Brian Butler just takes a knock. Ross has gone down for Southport, and an absolutely towering header from Terry Angus. What shape can you see, Peter, in the early stages?
Well, both sides electing to go with three out-and-out markers at the back, marking the 2 front men. But just have a look at the midfield now, how congested it is. And it's just a matter of, you know, who can get the foot on the ball, maybe, and just, that's a good ball over the top. Needs backing up for the middle. And that's what I think you'll find out Southport will be more reluctant.
Well, back to you later, Peter. Anyway, Paul Futcher in there very strongly. Superb challenge from the boss. And Southport helping it forward again. Corey Brown certainly felt the force of Paul Futcher. 600 Football League appearances for Paul. But he's a manager now. He's still on the pitch. And that's a lovely ball out to Brian Ross. Brian Ross skips away from Corey Brown. This is Ross for Southport. And Morris looking for the first opportunity of the afternoon. Now David Thompson skips away. Feeds it back to Farley. That's an interesting ball in, but Ross just not tall enough to get there. That was bright, Peter, an opportunity.
Yes, nice opportunity. Good break down the left there by Rossi, and a good ball in. It's a pity he couldn't get a header on. But it's interesting to start with, isn't it, how congested the middle of the field is, and what you'd expect at this stage of the game, how both sets of midfield players are reluctant to go and support the front men so early.
Well, free kick given to Slough. They want to take it quickly. So, free kick to Slough Town. They'll be looking for something early on to settle their nerves. And Billy Stewart awarded the goal kick there. You could just see the height there that Slough looking to use from the set place, Peter.
Yeah, as I said early on, I think that's going to be a danger, and players like Terry Angus there are big lads, and when they come up, they offer a complete threat in the box. But nice to see the goal kick. Interesting to see that Billy's elected to kick from the other side.
So Ross beaten to the ball there by Cliff Hercules. And it's Slough winning the 50-50s in the air, but Futcher using all his experience there to set Andy Farley away. Down the right, and a loose ball to Thompson ends that one. Southport will be looking to get the ball on the floor and work their way down these flanks. Phil Horner, under immense pressure, concedes the throw to Corey Brown, and Slough have it. Peter, you'll remember these semi-finals from your time at Altrincham. There's a big crowd in here this afternoon. How will that affect the players?
Well, at the moment, it seems to not have. There's two ways it can affect them, isn't there? You can either freeze on the day, on the big day, or rise to the crowd. I see no evidence at all today that Southport had done anything other than got straight into the job and looking. Made a good start. Great ball through. Unlucky. Had a good start.
Yeah, it's a very bright start here from Southport. So Slough looking to settle again, nudging the ball forward through the middle, using the height of these big players they've got. Now a bit of room on the left. Here's Gary Brazil, well known in these parts of course, once of Preston North End, and a shoot there. Shot wide from Gary Brazil, but worked hard for the opening. Certainly not going to beat Billy Stewart from that range.
That's the first time, Alan, in the first 10 minutes that actually Slough have actually got the ball on the floor, and it is Gary Brazil, and you'd expect him to play with his good feet and not just kick the long ball up, and that's the first time they made a 1-2 passing movement.
Yeah, Southport certainly will have to watch the fancy footwork of Gary Brazil. Well, Gamble, perhaps a little bit of nerves there for him. But Southport have the throw. A lull of anticipation here in Hague Avenue now. Hercules drives it forward. Horner's there first, and Tim Ryan, who had a superb game at Wrexham Park. Brian Butler hauled to the ground by Danny Bailey. Phil Horner and Brian Butler, the old Blackpool connection working there for Southport. So Futcher drives it forward into Ross. He's the target. Gary Smart tidies up under pressure. Southport have it. Knocked back in by Gamble, who comes back for it. McGuinness now out for Slough Town. They're changing the direction of play, looking for the wide left man, Danny Bolt, not finding him. Thompson, and just losing out there to Stowell. That's all the way back to Wilkerson. Oh, Morris not far from that one, and that could have been dangerous for Slough. Southport will just be looking to keep this pressure on. Man wide left for Slough, Matthew Stowell now. He's got room, the big men are in the box. They're building patiently as Brazil knocks it back in. Bailey again, this is good movement from Slough, and inevitably the long high ball. But Billy Stewart did what was asked of him. Well, that was dangerous for Southport, Peter.
Yes, good build-up right from all the way forward there. But again, Southport will get consolation in fact that knowing the confidence that Billy Stewart took that cross ball there. You know, that adds a lot of confidence to the team when they know the big lad's doing his job.
Oh goodness me! Now then, Matthew Stowell. Sorry, I'm sorry. Matthew Stowell has caught Andy Farley full in the face. I don't think it was as bad as it looked, actually. I think he did go for the ball. Did you see that one, Peter?
No, I didn't. I was still looking at Billy Stewart's reaction from catching the crossbar when the incident happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he took it full in the face from Matthew Stowell, and Andy Farley will do well to recover from this. I think the players know it wasn't a malicious act. It's a yellow card for Matthew Stowell, and the best thing about that is Andy Farley has recovered, so we can get on with the game.
I think the reactions of the players showed immediately, you know, that they thought it was unintentional.
Mr. Coddington just tempering justice with mercy there. He was right up on the spot. He saw the whole thing. But Andy Farley, hopefully, will recover from that one. Futcher guides the ball back to Stewart, then takes a trip from Corey Brown. So a little bit of the rough stuff from Slough. Slough Town just making their presence felt a little here, Peter.
Yes, and as long as they keep going scrappy like that and arguing each other, that's not a problem. That's all to Southport's favour. They'll be delighted with that. Kills the game, kills the time, quietens it down, set pieces again.
10 minutes gone here at Hague Avenue, and Southport 0-0 with Slough. Still a goal up on aggregate. Steve Morris in the corner, skips away past Hercules. Can he get the cross in? It's not a bad ball, and the keeper was struggling. Wilkerson, I think he was obscured by his own big centre half there. Southport now turning the screw, coming again. Thompson, not a good first touch from him, but Butler in like a whippet. Brian Butler, number 4, very influential for Southport, Peter.
Yes, I made a very good start, but I've been very impressed at the moment with Dave Gangle's contribution right in the heart of the middle of the field. Staying there, holding things together. And Southport have just got to keep their head, keep their patience. Don't ever forget they've still won the goal, still one goal in front.
That's right, Southport, 1 goal in front. And if on 90 minutes here at Hague Ave, it's 0-0, they will be absolutely delighted. Butler's gone down for Southport. Another strong challenge from Terry Angus. But again, Mr. Coddington right up with play. And he'll just be having a word with 1 or 2 of the Slough players now, I think.
Oh, I think actually, I'll be interested to see. I think he's given an indirect free kick for shouting for the ball without calling the name. Again, Angus.
Here's Gamble, whips it in. Deep and long. Keeper came. Paul Will. Superb ball in there from Gamble. He's so deadly with the left foot, David Gamble. Now here's Thompson. Not quite settled yet, Dave Thompson, into this game. Southport will have a throw. Ross has made some ground into the corner, right-hand side. Lovely footwork by Brian Ross. Finds Thompson. David Thompson looking for something, gets a throw.
Good play down in the right-hand corner, taking the game to Slough. Another good cross ball. Danger's not over yet.
Here comes Thompson again. Ball fed back in from Butler. That's a lovely ball in. Cliff Hercules got the chest on that one, and it was vital. Butler again now. Orchestrating play for Southport. Into Ross. Again, Ross under very close attention from Hercules. Lovely 1-2 with Thompson, who just didn't make the final pass. Southport applying the pressure. Horner misses that one, and this could be trouble for Southport. Gary Abbott into Bolt. Splendid tackle back from Tim Ryan, who I believe had an absolutely superb game in the first leg at Slough. Left back Tim Ryan. A lot of Football League clubs have been looking at Tim Ryan, and you can see why. Well, perhaps not with headers like that, but isn't that just the case? You build somebody up and then...
But in a situation like that, Alan, he's uncertain, he's not had a call or anything, therefore he does the most sensible thing. That's make sure the ball's out of play in a safe area.
Southport building again with, as ever, Brian Butler. Down the middle. David Thompson skips past his marker. Looking for the ball into Ross. Here's Thompson on the run for Southport. David Thompson looking for the penalty as Hercules stepped across him. But a splendid run by David Thompson. They didn't really have an answer there. And that kick from Wilkerson just takes the pressure off. Peter?
Yeah, I think the Southport management and Paul Futcher there in particular will be very pleased with the way the first 20 minutes has gone. They started to play a little bit of football from the middle and looking very dangerous down the right. The centre of the back's looking quite hesitant and inconsistent at the back for Slough, causing a few problems.
Slough, of course, have already won here at Hague Avenue this season in the conference. But this is a trophy, this is the semi-final, and Southport, with 15 minutes gone, Ross crawling all over McGinn.
Just referring back to the penalty incident a few minutes ago, Alan, in this modern day, you suddenly think that Dave Thompson might have got a yellow card for diving.
Yes, well,
the way the game's been done now.
It wouldn't be the first time, that's for sure. Oh, well stolen by Butler. He's so busy around the area between the two penalty areas. But this is Slough Town now building again patiently. Many white shirts forward. They've got the bodies in there. As Gamble looks to set something up for Southport. Bailey bumps it back into Stewart. Peter, you know Billy Stewart from your coaching days, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely superb, man. Absolute gentleman. I'm so delighted this season. Of course, we're getting in honour of the semi-professional goalkeeper in the 2-1 win against Holland. Absolutely delightful, man.
Yeah, he's certainly added another dimension for Southport since his arrival, Billy Stewart. 2 top draw saves last week kept them in the game.
I believe so. I'm just here today, just signed a new 2-year contract, which is good news.
Good news for Southport.
And for Billy.
Still 1-0 in front here at Hague Ave. Slough taking the game to Southport. They know they've got to come and get something, and as early as possible for them. Matthew Stowell, wide left, good ball in, and a very important header away by Tim Ryan. But Southport were under the cosh there. And Slough Town, whose fans are gathered away behind the Blowick Road end, the visitors' end here at Hague Ave, know that their team can benefit from set pieces well. The big men are forward. Angus is up there, Bailey's up there. Hercules arrives on the edge of the box as Brazil swings in the corner. It's not good. And swiftly away by Southport. Farley with the header, but it's knocked back in. Horner knocked off the ball, but he wins the goal kick, and that's important.
Excellent defending, excellent defending. That was the first test I've seen of the set pieces, and a very bad ball in by, a very poor ball in by Gary Brazil. Obviously, he won't be happy with the delivery, but it's excellent defending by Southport. Been very impressed in the first 25 minutes the way Southport players have got behind the ball when they've lost possession, and very impressed with the way they've closed Slough down.
Paul Futcher, of course, a supreme organiser at the back for them. Ryan with some work to do as Corey Brown chases him into the corner. Throw into Slough. A lot of movement forward between Brazil and Abbott for them. Abbott just helps the ball back there to Smart. Bailey forward. Futcher's there. Now Hercules joins the attack. Good pressure this from Slough. Oh, a lovely ball knocked back by Abbott. This could be trouble. Danny Bolt brings out a spectacular save from Billy Stewart. But Slough Town worked the opening well, Peter.
Yes, they did need an excellent shot. But what an outstanding first-class save. Absolute first-class save.
Corner whipped in now for Slough. They can feel they might get something here. And Stewart drops the ball. He was fouled. Mr. Coddington, again, very close to the action. The sign of a good quality referee. Southport just weathering the storm a little now, Peter.
Well, as I said, on set pieces, they're bound to cause some threats. You expect that, but they haven't caused any great problems in open play as such, and most of the pressure has been on the Slough keeper.
Bailey hooks it forward. Corey Brown looking to benefit, but Southport again defending well and then linking the passes. Farley looking for the wide man. It's Stephen Morris. Farley and Stowell meet again. The first meeting was very uncomfortable for Andy Farley, but it's good to see he's up and recovered. 117 years history at this club, Southport, and as yet have not played at Wembley Stadium. A quarter of this game has elapsed. There is no score, and Southport have the 1-0 advantage from Wexham Park. So Southport with a free kick. 21 players in the Slough half for that one. Horner loses out to Abbott, and Corey Brown brings it down, but Southport again winning the 50-50s till it's through to Stowell. Futcher's in there. Good defending again from Southport. Total confidence at the back. And concentration absolutely vital to them, but they're doing the job well so far, as Ryan wins himself the free kick. Abbott left the foot in.
Just got a feeling, Alan, that that I know Slough in a difficult position where they've got to come and score and they've got to get a goal and so on, but nevertheless there's so many people behind the ball and so reluctant to come out and support the front people, just in case that it leaves that space for Southport to go in and pinch the second one, which really should seal it.
Well, that's the irony of the situation. Slough must have their game plan. They just want to keep Southport out first of all, and see if they can nick the goal to square this tie. It's so good to see Hague Avenue packed again to the rafters. A lot of people in here were saying it takes them back to the Football League days and the 4th Division Championship.
Absolutely delighted with everyone associated with the club, because you remember days like this, there's an awful lot of work goes on behind the scenes. Commercial managers, secretaries, the board, a lot of work goes on in games to set these games up. It's the players who get the glory on the pitch. So delighted to see it.
A little bit of rough and tumble there between Morris and Danny Bailey. Culminates in a free kick for Southport. Futcher in no hurry to take this one.
Been very impressed with Southport's discipline under pressure. That the incident before and with involving Matthew Stowell and so on. They've kept the discipline, kept cool, and seem to be well prepared and good heads. That's important.
Yes, they certainly are a patient side. Dave Thompson's picked up a knock. He's just come back from injury. He was doubtful for today's game.
Yeah, that would be a blow if that's the case. I know he's sort of running it off with a grimace on his face, but that would be a great pity, because he's made a very positive contribution to the first 30 minutes here, caused a lot of danger down the right-hand side.
Well, Southport again on the defensive. Tim Ryan tangling with Gary Smart. Butler again wins possession in midfield, takes a look and looks for Martin. Steve Morris it is on the ball, turns away past Hercules, but Slough win possession. Butler just tangling with Farley, and who takes it, who cools it down? It's Paul Futcher. Now Gamble a little with the back pass as well. Stewart's under pressure now, and the sensible thing, ball to safety, Southport can regroup at the back. This is dangerous though. Danny Bailey swings one over. Abbott's up. Here's Corey Brown, edge of the box. Feeds it back to Brazil. And he squirmed it wide of the post. That could have been dangerous, Peter.
Yes, and it would have been one of those been tragedy really, because the pressure was created by Southport themselves, not by any good play at all by Slough. A sloppy back pass to Billy Stewart, immediately under pressure, and then, you know, fortunately for Southport, a Gary Brazil slice and a missed kick.
So Southport weather that storm. The concentration must be kept up at all times at the back, particularly Butler, again very busy in midfield, and eventually forces the error. Four places separate these sides in the Vauxhall Conference. Southport 12th, Slough 8th.
There's good balls being played up to Steve Morris and Brian Ross up front, and if they could just hold it in like now, without getting strangled off it, and just get the ball to the supportive midfield, I just think they'll really sew the game up.
Yeah, an example there, but Hercules and McManus and McGuinness very quick to take the ball away from the Southport strikers. Slough have the free kick. Another dangerous position. Danny Bolt over the ball. The big men again arriving at the back post there. Cliff Hercules. Brian Ross has tracked all the way back with him. Bolt indeed with the free kick. Stewart comes and takes the punch. He also took Gary Abbott with him. But a lovely punch there from Billy Stewart.
Excellent goalkeeping once again. I would say when you're dealing with big lads who are causing threat from set pieces, you know, it's so reassuring to have a big lad in goals who's coming out and saying, not being commanding his six-yard area. Excellent punch.
Southport have conceded just 2 goals on the FA Trophy run this season. Both of those incidentally to Grantham Town in the quarter-finals and the replay. So Gary Abbott's up. He looks to have damaged his shoulder, but Slough have the corner. Gary Brazil will be looking to do better with this one, but he doesn't. It's another poor one to the near post. And with all the big men in there, quite why they're playing low balls to the near post, I don't know. Brazil again, though, wins the second ball. Danger now. Corey Brown. Bailey strikes. And Slough Town have got the goal that they wanted. A superb strike from Danny Bailey. And Southport made the clearance, but it was only to the edge of the box. And now we have a cup tie.
Well, we said initially that there's always going to be a threat from set pieces. It's ironic that it should be another bad delivery in and clear. But again, Southport in defending deep, we're allowing the Slough player Bailey in this particular case room in which to get a strike. Very slow to closing down. Excellent technical strike.
Well, Paul Futcher said this game might turn one way and then t'other. Still a long way to go, but Slough have been rewarded for their persistence. And it was the winning of the loose ball, the second ball from the corner, which gave them that opportunity. Cliff Hercules plays the ball back to Gary Smart. It's first blood to Slough, but a lot of life left in the game yet.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just that in the last 5 minutes or so that both Bailey and Brazil have become a little bit more involved in midfield and getting hold of the ball a bit more. And as I said before, Steve Morris and Brian Ross just been hustled out up front, and they've got to hold this ball to allow their own midfield. Otherwise, midfield is on retreat, on retreat, on retreat, and they're chasing back all the time.
Slough Town building again, got the bit between their teeth now. Stowell have made a lot of ground on the left, but Southport with Thompson way back there. First touch from Morris, again allowing Angus in with the challenge. Ross wins the free kick. Hercules just a little nudge on him. Futcher's coming forward for Southport now, sending Phil Horner up there, directing operations, the boss. Oh, poor ball in from Gamble. And Brian McDermott, the Slough manager, has certainly done the job so far. That 1 goal advantage to them on the day, completely squaring up the tie now, as Tim Ryan drives forward for Southport. Good interchange between Morris and Bottler, but too far for Ross. Ross with some work to do, as Gary McGuinness tidies up for Slough from the back into Abbott. And again, Corey Brown, height and weight causing problems for Southport. Foot in from Futcher. White shirts pour forward, and they've a man over here, but well held by Stewart. Matthew Stowell, the number 3, seems to be gaining a lot of ground down there on the left, Peter.
Yes, I think Paul Futcher there will look at that and say, well, he failed to get in 2 tackles that mattered, and again, the Slough midfield beginning just to get a grip of the game and coming forward. As I said before, 20 minutes ago, they weren't coming forward like that. Now that extra goal gives them confidence and just coming forward a little bit more in support. That place coming in to support.
Here's Butler now, forward for Southport. Morrison behind them, but Wilkerson quickly off the line. Well, Paul Futcher was asking for the supporters to create a wall of noise, give them an extra lift. It's now that they need it, Southport. Push by Horner on Abbott. A free kick to Slough Town. Now it's Slough who aren't hurrying at all. They've won a succession of free kicks in this first half, and that's not good news for Southport. Again, the big men up from the back as Bolt delivers it in. Hercules arrives at the back post, and he seemed to out-jump Billy Stewart on that occasion. Goal kick.
I think Billy knew exactly what he was doing. It's 8 yards, 10 yards out from the goal on the far side. His physical presence is enough to put the Slough Town player off and take his eye off the ball, and they're rewarded with a goal kick.
Well, Cheltenham Town will await the winners of this tie at Wembley. They beat Dover yesterday over 2 legs. A 2-2 draw at Dover gave them the place in the final following their 2-1 win at Cheltenham a week earlier. Southport's game here at Haygav put back a day because of the Grand National. As Andy Farley brings the ball forward for Southport and then scoops the shot over the top, but closed down very quickly by the white shirts.
Yeah, but a good positive run from the fullback. Saw the space, good run by Thompson to McCrea out wide to create the space inside. He elected to go, got to the edge of the box and took a shot. I mean, hits a 6th row of the stand, it goes in the top corner. It's
6th row of the stand, I think, on that occasion. Wilkerson, whose goal has not yet been threatened by Southport. Slough have kept the Sandgrounders very quiet at the back. As Corey Brown sent sprawling, another free kick to Slough in a dangerous area again. As again Danny Bolt weighs it up. This could be a crack at goal for either him or Brazil. Is it going to be a Bolt? Oh, it's a Bolt from Brazil. It's not a bad effort. And forcing a save from Stewart, reminiscent of the Willie Carr and Ernie Hunt 1974 Coventry City goal against Everton, that, Peter.
Yes, and this time Billy was up to it and a good save. Also very reminiscent. Seen Gary do that a few times when he's in his days at Deepton with Preston North End.
Well, it's a corner to Slough, whipped in again. Gamble was there first. Southport haven't cleared, Formby's lost it, but Brian Ross all the way back there defending. Eventually, safety for Southport. Thompson looking for the outlet on the right. He's just lingered over the ball. One step too much, but gets away with it. Well played, David Thompson. Morris on the hunt now, looking to close down Gary Smart. All the way back to Tim Ryan and out to Formby. Oh, a sloppy back pass by Ryan, but Horner first to react. Southport must keep their concentration at the back. Ross, Angus all over him there. Horner's up, Butler's up, ball, head tennis stuff here. Stowell again, drives away down the left. Thompson's not picked him up, and Stowell could get in beyond Horner here. Indeed he has. Matthew Stowell, good ball in, they must pick him up. Southport, Gamble with the clearance, gave himself the time, and a breath of relief for Southport.
And they don't pick up the man that's coming from the deep. On that particular case, it was Stowell. And again, good ball, pulled back to the edge of the box. I just got a feeling that once they get in the box, Southport defending a little bit too deep. Paid the penalty once with a great shot at the edge of the box by Bailey. Don't want to get caught out again.
Indeed not. Here is Bailey, the goal scorer. Whips it in, Corey Brown, edge of the box there. He's waiting again, Bailey. Southport must defend, and defend they do. Good ball out there from Farley. It's high. Morris nips in between Angus and Hercules. But the ball pumped up through the middle will not benefit Southport today. Big men, these Slough players. As Thompson brings it down, away from Stowell. Now inside to Andy Farley. Southport building the passes. And with Gamble, Hercules there ahead of Ross. Gary Brazil now away on the right for Slough Town. Drives it forward looking for Abbott. Butler again, busy, wins the ball. Southport 5 minutes to half time, 1-0 to Slough, who look the more dangerous of the two sides going forward.
Yes, yes, they do, certainly do at the moment, Alan. And I just think that both Morris and Ross, have been physically played out the game up front, and therefore need to start doing a bit of movement, I think, and dragging these centre halves out wide.
Indeed, sure Paul Futcher can remedy that one at half time. Southport looking to be more busy around the halfway line. That's a super ball into Corey Brown, just ahead of him, but Slough certainly dominating the game now, Peter.
Yes, I say, they're winning all the 50-50 balls, and Southport, when they defend it, have just been too deep, allowing these midfield players like Bailey, like Brazil, have started coming into the game. You've had some good deep runs from the back from Matthew Stowell, and I think the two lads up front, Ross and
Steve Morris,
have just been physically played out the first part of the game.
Well, there's another 45 minutes to put it right, and of course, as it's well documented, the game must come to a climax today, one way or another. If that means penalties and extra time, then so be it. But 45 to go after this. We're nearly at half time now. Southport interchanging the passes. frustration from the fans, and David Gamble, who had a good opening 20 minutes, just looking a little flustered now. It's all about character now. Oh, a lovely, comfortable header backwards by Futcher.
And it helped, of course, by an excellent call from Billy Stewart, the goalkeeper. I think Thompson's had a particularly excellent first half on the right-hand side here. There's a prime example of what I'm talking about, being physically out jumping.
Yes, Brown and Angus just winning everything there. Morris and Ross will be looking for the balls around the floor and on the ground for them.
And you've just got Gary McGuinness and nobody's McGuinness, who's captain of the side, just like the back, you know, just sweeping everything up between the two.
Peter's there sounding like he's had a couple of pints of Guinness, I think. Billy Stewart picks up possession. Approaching half-time here at Hague Avenue. Slough Town have 1-0 advantage, which squares up the tie overall. They look the better side, and Southport must pull something out here. We are in the frame videos here at Hague Avenue. Alongside me is Peter Warburton, ex-coach of Altrincham and Wigan Athletic. He's seen it all before, and again the decision's going against Southport. The push that time by Morris on Angus, but a little bit more physical presence from the front two there. Certainly won't go amiss.
No, and a nice bit of space opening up for that through ball there, with Cliff Hercules having come up from the back, being caught out by making a bad mistake. Thought Southport should have been played quicker ball into the space in the hole, in the space he left. But I think the two lads up front have got to do a lot more work in the second half.
And again, Corey Brown well away from the defence there. Southport completely lost him, but they have recovered. Gamble forward. Campbell not been finding the passes this afternoon. That trusty left foot of his usually delivers more dangerous play than that. As it is, it's Slough again, who are being dangerous themselves. Lovely ball in from Gary Smart. Made a lot of ground. Slough using the two fullbacks very effectively on the wings. Thompson with a free header. Again, they give it away. And under no pressure at all, Southport give the ball away. It's going to be a throw-in. Danny Bailey feeds the ball in to Danny Bolt. The two Dannys combining, but it's Brian Butler with the clearance. This one will fall for Gamble. Again, everything seems to be dropping on David Gamble's right foot. And as we know, he's far more effective with the left. Corey Brown has found some space on the left, but Futcher it is. Attends to him, cuts out the danger, and Farley now for Southport. Southport, who have not had a shot on target in the first 45 minutes. Ryan with the header. Game picked up by Smart. Southport on the defensive. Slough building again comfortably. Lots of support for their attackers. And if anything, it's they who look like the home side here. Brian Butler, not many options for him, but one of them is Gamble. This is David Gamble for Southport. Into Stephen Morris. Oh, not far wide with that effort. Dragged across by Morris. But good approach play that from Southport. Peter.
Well, I just made a note. I was just going to come to it. Much better play, and that's exactly what Southport have got to do. You can see I just made a note here. They've got to get the midfield have been played out the game. The midfield's got to get hold of the ball, pass it to feet, but it's important that Ross and Morris drag these centre halves out wide and start dragging them out, because at the moment it's all gone down the middle and the two big lads have just been winning everything.
Well, let's see if they can improve on that. But Morris not far away with that effort. Scored his first senior goal for Southport, of course, last Saturday at Slough, and looks a good acquisition by Paul Futcher since his arrival from Wrexham. But Stowell again drives it forward for Slough. Gary Brazil, edge of the box, and again he's not found his range as Corey Brown down in a heap under that challenge from Futcher.
Well, fortunately, Gary hasn't found his range, but that's the third time he's been in that sort of similar position around the edge of the box, picking the loose ball up, and Southport can't afford to keep giving that away.
Yes, Gary Brazil again. Gary Brazil, well known in these parts, was a striker for Preston North End for several years, just down the road there, and won many friends in this area. He's now the commercial officer at Slough, I believe, as well as the centre forward. Hercules again. Oh, goodness me, just caught offside there, Abbott, but Hercules again won the header. Again, it's simple from Slough. Ball knocked forward quickly, and it's they who have the more to cheer as Morris pulls away from Angus, and Ross, ooh, threatened, but he was offside, under immense pressure from Terry Angus to bring that one down, Brian Ross.
But as we said earlier, what a difference when the ball is held up and just gives people just that extra time to make the movement off the ball. And if it's played down the middle, that's what the two lads have got to do. I've just got a feeling they've got to start dragging these centre halves out to the corner flags and utilising the space inside from the middle.
Well, it sounds simple, Peter. It's the 11 out there in the yellow and black shirts who have the job to do, and they'll be happier to go in at half-time, I think, with this score. They're certainly under pressure, Southport, as Slough opening them up with regularity now. Well, that's the end of the first 45. Southport must do better if they're to progress to Wembley. A goal behind to Slough. Danny Bailey's effort on 30 minutes separates the sides here at Haygav. At half-time, it's Southport 0, Slough 1 in the FA Umbro Trophy semi-final, second leg. Well, here come the Port for the beginning of a crucial 45 minutes for them now. Can they do it? Can they pull it off? A place at Wembley Stadium in the FA Umbro Trophy final at stake between these two sides now.
4,895. 4895. Thank you for your attendance this afternoon.
Well, the attendance 4,800 beating the York City FA Cup attendance by a full 1,000. Such is the importance of this game here at Hague Avenue. The town has certainly got behind the football team. Now can the football team repay the town with a trip to Wembley? Peter Warburton with us for the second half. What do you think?
Oh, well, I sincerely hope so, and it's absolutely delighted with such a big crowd. And this is the time to make the noise, and you said how the crowd can affect the game. Now they can lift the players. But I do think it's important at half-time, interesting to see, because I really do think it's important that Southport have got to attack now with a far more positive attitude than they did the first half, and that Morris and Ross have got to start dragging these two big centre-halves about Hercules and Angus out of the centre and create space for midfield. And I just hope that happens.
Well, we shall see. The next goal, of course, in this tie, absolutely crucial. The sides locked at 1-1 on the aggregate. Extra time, of course, would be required if there is not a result after 90 minutes. And then the dreaded penalties. We hope we don't need to see that, as Corey Brown again makes himself available for Slough Town. Corey Brown, who joined them from Stevenage at the beginning of this season, was involved in that FA Cup run for Stevenage last season. As Futcher brings it down, gives himself time, forward for Morris. Gary McGuinness just feeding it back to Wilkerson and forcing an error. Throw into Southport. The crowd getting behind the Sandgrounders now. Will the 5th of April 1998 be a golden moment for Southport Football Club? Here's Ross now, peeling away, edge of the box. Support from Morris, and eventually Southport win no more than it's a goal kick to Slough. Good support play from the back there from Andy Farley as Ross tried to tee him up.
Nice to see so early, as we just said, two back players, one midfield and the back four player actually inside the box. 5 Southport players in the box. Never saw that in the first half, in the first 45 minutes at all.
Yeah, Paul Futcher has obviously had words to say at half-time, drawing on his wealth of experience to try and turn this game back around for Southport. They're battling a bit harder now on the front line. It's a throw into Slough as Gary Smart looks for some support. Abbott with the flick header, and then Ryan with the clearance, but Hercules again, first to the ball. Push from Gamble, free kick to Slough. Brian McDermott has got the goal back that they lost from Wexham Park. The Slough manager, more of the same surely for his side. That's what he would have been asking at half-time. As Abbott finds some space in the box, fortuitously for Futcher. His back forced it away. Now Gamble looking to drive it forward. Didn't find the range. Good recovery from Kevin Formby. Southport with shirts yellow and blacks forward now. Here's Thompson driving forward for Southport. David Thompson straight into Terry Angus. But good support play that from Southport, as Butler just leaves it for Andy Farley. Phil Horner under pressure from Brown again. Corey Brown, certainly a handful, number 8 for Slough, Peter.
They've been busy, worked very hard. But here's a good opportunity again from a sloppy back pass.
Goal kick for Southport, against Southport, sorry. Unfortunate there, as Peter says. Peter, you've been in the semi-final. Paul Futcher had them in at half-time, 1-0 down. What do you think he would have said to the lads?
I think that we need to be more positive. We need to start moving a lot more up front. and certainly get players from the midfield up in support in a lot better than we did in the first half. And my first impression after the first 5 minutes is that's beginning to happen. That's the first time I've seen Brian Butler in front of Thompson in the whole of the game.
Well, let's hope of more of the same for Southport, with Andy Farley now right back position, helps it back to Horner. But again, Angus very quick to the tackle ahead of Ross. And Slough Town now with some defending to do themselves. Butler finds the angle into Gamble. Southport just keeping possession now. Horner flicks it through to Ross. Again, no change at all out of Terry Angus for Brian Ross. Phil Horner calculates the ball. Again, Ross nicked away by Angus, who's having a superb game, and this will give Slough the opportunity to come forward. The ball driven there by Matthew Stowell too far, and Billy Stewart picks it up. Peter.
But those two excellent balls being played into Brian Ross there, and on both occasions, you know, hasn't been strong enough on the challenge from Angus to hold it up and just lay the ball off the midfield. That's what they've not been able to do, and I think that's to Bailey and Angus's credit.
Yeah, certainly to all credit to Terry Angus. He's certainly had Brian Ross in his pocket so far this afternoon. Here he is now on the ball, feeding it back to Wilkerson. Phil Horner feeds the ball to Andy Farley. Good approach play this from Southport. They've got Formby away here on the left. Gamble lingers, and again it's Corey Brown closing them down so efficiently. But good patient play this from Southport. They're keeping the ball. Now it's with Tim Ryan. Ross has made the run, looking to get behind Hercules. And a chance now. Morris, but a lovely tackle. Superb tackle from Gary McGuinness. And that was critical, Peter.
Absolute superb tackle. Time to perfection. Very unlucky. Good direct run into the box, and just a pity we couldn't get the ball from out between the feet to get a shot in. But again, a bit more positive from Southport. Got to do this. Went in to win the ball in midfield, got the tackle in, won it. Got to be more positive.
Yeah, certainly more movement forward from Southport now. Here in the second half at Hague Avenue. Trailing on the day to Slough Town by the Danny Bailey's 30th minute strike. But it's all square on aggregate. 10 minutes of the second half played, and Slough with a throw on the far side. Ball into Morris, looking for Ross again, and Ross could well have got there, but he was looking for Thompson. Stowell clears. Hesitancy from Ross. Farley wins the ball on the chest. Andy Farley forcing the challenge again from McGuinness. And another important challenge from Gary McGuinness there. But Southport certainly starting the second half the brighter of the two sides, Peter.
Yes, and beginning to pin them back. And they don't look the same side, do they, when they're under pressure themselves?
That's correct. Here's Morris now. Changes the angle. And as Butler made the run just too close to Walt Wilkerson, that ball there. Paul Wilkerson, who joined 2 years ago from Watford. Neat header from Butler. Gamble through, but offside against Morris. Lovely approach play that from Southport, but I think Morris was justly offside there.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt it was offside at all. And but nevertheless, space being created behind the Slough defence, and had the run just been a little bit flatter, he was well in and one against one, the keeper.
Yes, good movement that.
Much better approach play.
Hercules again with a Herculean header from him. Futcher gives himself time. Now Gamble, he's got Thompson away on the right. Thompson looking for support from Morris. On the drive through, Stephen Morris knocks it into Ross, who was inches away. A roar of approval from the Southport fans. Brian Ross inches away from an equaliser. And again, they got away on the right. Good work by Thompson. And then Morris, Peter.
Yes, but this time, excellent work by Thompson. But this time, he had men in advance of the ball of him. In the first half, he was doing the same thing with no one showing up front. Much better. Very, very unlucky.
Well, we'll see if Slough can survive the pressure as David Gamble
he was unlucky, wasn't he?
Yeah,
but he was unlucky. I mean, the first touch was a lovely touch of skill, taking the ball over the defender's head. You know, just unlucky after that. But that last move should give Southport a lot of confidence. Say, hey, come on, we were in then. We got him. We got behind him by playing open football that wide. Let's have more of it.
Yes, and they win themselves a free kick. Tim Ryan looking quickly at the ball. Ross peels away from Hercules. He's just offside at the moment, Brian Ross, but checks himself. Now Kevin Formby. A mazy run inside from him, only as far as Danny Bailey, and then a quick interchange from Gamble. The idea was good from Gamble. Again, Southport just failing to prise open this defence.
Yeah, but excellent run there from Kevin Formby. But you just got the feeling he'd gone past two players, and then go past the next one or get it going forward. That's the positive attitude we're talking about. That you've got to take a chance.
Now Corey Brown, who seemed to bundle over Tim Ryan, nothing given, and he wins the throw for Slough. Knocked in by Smart, but Futcher wins it back himself. He's so cool and calculated, Paul Futcher. Oh dear, David Gamble again just tarried a little. We've yet to see the best of David Gamble this afternoon. He's Southport's longest serving player, of course. Gary Smart with the throw for Slough, and in a lot of space. Gary Brazil made a hash of that one.
Oh, he'll be very disappointed when he sees that back on the action replay, I'm sure, tonight or whenever. Very slack defending there by Southport from a throw-in, allowing Gary Brazil to be in so much space. He'll be really disappointed. Good let off.
Southport, of course, have never been beyond the quarter-finals of this competition until this year, of course. Slough managed a semi-final in 1977, which they lost to Dagenham. Tim Ryan with the throw, knocks it forward, and then half chance, but Hercules and Angus just gobbling everything up in the air. Back to Wilkerson.
See, Tim Ryan there, goalkeeper kicks the ball out. Tim Ryan again wanting to, I want to be first there. First half it was, well, we were quite willing to let you have it. Different attitude, and this has got to be good.
Yeah, Southport certainly winning the loose balls now. They're certainly battling harder in the second half. They just need the sweetness of a goal to perk up the afternoon. As the sun comes out again here at Hague Avenue. A lovely spring afternoon, and Southport looking to spring themselves here. Butler on the left, Morris in space, but not the best ball from Brian Butler. But again, Southport creating the opening on the left. Surely they're finding the openings now, Peter.
Yeah, but again, who was it? Brian Butler from midfield this time, popping up on the left. This is exactly what we said they had to do, and I'd just like to see them, particularly down this left-hand side, actually start playing this corner flag a little bit more. Just playing from the middle, playing the ball into the corner flag, and getting Morris and people to drag the big lads out. They do not look the same when they're out on the flanks.
That's right, Slough Town certainly not unbeatable. As Southport now looking to forge their way through. The ball through the middle, not their best option, it seems. Hercules again there, first to the ball. He's been towering for them this afternoon. Southport looking for Ross. He's not offside. Brian Ross for Southport. He's got Morris in the middle, but too many white shirts between Ross and Morris. But again, Southport finding the openings. Peter.
Yeah, I was disappointed with the finish. Excellent start. Well, the corner, I know, but I think young Brian Ross there might have either taken it on and had a crack himself, because it was such a quick break that the support was slow in coming. And it wasn't on the edge of the box to be pulled back. But we've got a corner, and it's a dangerous position.
Yes, corner to Southport. Gamble whips it across. Wilkerson comes and takes. Southport supporters over the years will have seen so many of those David Gamble in swingers. But Slough Town driving the ball into the corner themselves as Gary Brazil tangles with Farley. A good example there of turning defence into attack from Slough.
See again, Alan, it was a ball over the top that just caught the two big lads out. When the ball's been played down the middle, they've eaten everything, as you know. They've handled Ross and Morris, but now Morris and Ross have started moving.
Here's Morris, turns it back, and again a half chance for Southport, but they're getting closer.
And you have a look at Angus and Bailey now having arguments and words with each other. They'd suddenly begin to be turned, and they won't like it.
No, the big lads certainly don't like to be turned. They'd much rather the ball was fed to them through the middle, as Wilkerson wastes the clearance, wastes the goal kick, and Southport again in possession. Yellow and black shirts hovering around that ball now. Southport are hungry for this game. Gamble wins the challenge. Farley drives it forward, and Morris very unlucky with that one. Marginally offside, as again he spun away from Hercules. I think it could have been Ross actually.
It was Alan. That's exactly what he's given. It was excellent run by Morris. Angled it well. No question that he was onside at all. But Ross was on the far side, was offside. But again, the ball chipped over that back. They're allowing the space. The goal will come.
Prophetic words from Peter Warburton. Oh, a slip now from Hercules, as Morris put him under pressure, of course. Hercules recovers. Steve Morris nips it back into Gamble, and the left foot of David Gamble feeds the ball out to David Thompson. Good approach play from Southport. Can Thompson find the cross? No, he can't. But Butler's got it. In it comes. Oh, and on the ground there, Morris just couldn't dig that one out. But Slough living dangerously now, Peter.
Yeah, but all started down here. Morris, nice to see him finish off with the shot inside the box. But he started the move down here, outside, dragging Bailey out. Here we go again. Got to play the corner.
Kevin Formby wins the ball, and then Hercules arrives. Too many white shirts for Kevin Formby. McGuinness forward. Good control by Gamble. Now it's Ross. But McGuinness, who's having a superb game at the back there, Peter.
And at this moment in time needs to be, because all of a sudden we've done exactly what we said happened, that Morris and Ross have started working and dragging Bailey and Angus, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
No, they don't like it, Upham, as Clive Dunn used to say. Good flick by Formby. Here's Ross again, into the corner. This time he's there ahead of Cliff Hercules. And Slough Town have won a throw-in, but it's deep in their own territory.
And you keep dragging these centre-halves and these players away in this game, and as the game goes on, the legs get tired, more tired, and all of a sudden, it's just a simple mistake in the box might be caused by a tired leg. Anything can happen. And in the first half, neither player had to run.
Yes, that's true. Slough coping as well as can be expected. They're under pressure. They're away from home, and they're protecting a one-goal lead here at Hague Avenue.
That's a great ball.
Well, Southport had men over. Now the linesman's got the flag up for offside. Slough had possession. The referee played on. As for once, Angus gets there ahead of Morris.
Good sustained pressure this by Southport. Nice to be rewarded in the next few minutes with a goal that could settle it.
Midway through the second half, Southport still trail on the day to Slough Town, but it's all level on aggregate. FA Umbro Trophy semi-final. Second leg at Haygav. Southport again, looking for Ross, and Wilkerson needed to be quick. But a lot of movement now between Ross and Morris, sorry. Now then, can Slough spoil the party? Good ball from Bolt. And Smart was there, the fullback. Brazil knocks it back in. Gary Smart for Slough. Southport supporters hold their breath. Really the first time Slough have foraged forward. Eventually, Farley and Butler link well. And there's that man McGuinness again.
He's been outstanding sweeping up at the back. But I say in the first half, none of the back three had to break sweat, had to move. Now they're having to find out what they're about. Southport beginning to ask a few questions, and I think they're getting some pleasant answers.
Well, the pleasantest of answers, of course, would be the equaliser. But we shall see. Southport still foraging patiently from the back with Futcher. Morris is in behind them again. He's beaten McGuinness. Here's Brian Ross in the middle. Morris, can he finish? Oh, goodness me! Ross! And it's a goal! It's a goal for Southport! It's Kevin Formby! But wait a minute, Slough Town are asking the referee. He's having a word with the linesman, and the goal stands. I know, but I think he's giving the goal.
Who's giving the goal?
Not Kevin Formby, but they're saying that Kevin Formby's still in the line of reading his goal.
Get the goal, right?
Yes, but it's funny him and he's supposed to go in the line. So he's getting phone back, so he can't go. Is it Kevin? It's on the way in fourth. Right. Slough Town are very upset about that. They feel Kevin Formby, whose position on the line ranked him offside. But the goal will stand. Southport FC are level.
So he's going to come off.
And the referee and linesman now are again, I think another Slough player may find a card to his name here. It could be the manager, I think. Graham McDermott getting a yellow card now, I believe.
Yeah, well, isn't it going to be, just said 2 minutes ago, they've got to start turning them, a little bit of luck, keep asking the questions, and, you know, Southport might get the answers. That's been a lovely, positive answer. They've got to keep this going now, because Slough are really rattled.
Well, Peter Warburton, the manager, yeah. Peter Warburton predicted that Southport would equalise in this game, and how right you were, Peter. But 20 minutes left now, an absolutely electric atmosphere here inside Hague Avenue. It's 1-1.
And absolutely vital that Southport do not stop doing what they've started this second half. They must not return or retaliate or do anything. Let Slough get upset, be patient, and do exactly the way they have this second half, because they've changed this game completely. They must not get rattled. Can I just say that I think the referee has been absolutely outstanding.
Yes, Brian Coddington, an exemplary display from him. Slough will not share your sentiment there, Peter, I'm sure, as they feel that the goal was offside. But it did seem to take an age with Steve Morris on the byline there, didn't it?
But I think the video evidence that we've got will actually show that there was a player also standing on the far touchline, a defender that the goalkeeper couldn't see, and that there's no question the goal stood and hit form beyond the way in.
Well, the goal certainly does stand. Oh, Billy Stewart with some work to do here. Gathers that one like a baby in arms. And a sigh of relief again round Haygav as Southport build again. Steve Morris climbing on McGuinness. Well, it's real cup tie, blood and thunder football now. Southport again back in the ascendancy, back with the advantage with which they started this game. It's very slender, and Slough Town, who've been defending for a big part of this second half, will now look to throw themselves back into this. Slough with the free kick. Danny Bolt fires it in, the big man up again, and a cluster of heads. Eventually, I think it was Gary Abbott. It was Gary Abbott who got the final touch there. Southport have the goal kick.
The manager off then, hasn't he?
And again, Slough players getting agitated with themselves. No question that Gary Abbott was the last header to touch the ball well over the post, and there they are complaining. It should be a corner. They're the ones rattled.
Well, it doesn't always go your way in football. They should know that. Southport with Andy Farley. Wide right, bringing in David Thompson into play. Looking for Morris. Southport seem to have found themselves an extra yard in this second half, particularly on the front line. A lot more movement. Here again, Steve Morris. He's got Ross in the middle. The ball is not dead yet as McGuinness comes to clear the danger. Number 4. David Gamble in the challenge. Danny Bailey drives it forward, but Futch just gives himself the time and space, knocks the ball right into the corner flag. A real example this afternoon, Paul Futcher. He's certainly not been flustered at all, Peter.
Tremendous performance from him, absolutely magnificent in the second half, and even though it might have looked like a sort of a wild kick, just hoof up the field, it was to the corner flags, and that's what they've got to do. Start hitting the corners.
Futcher knocks it back to Billy Stewart. Forward by him, but Bailey's there first. Some work for Andy Farley to do. And Phil Horner. Ball spread wide to Brian Ross for Southport. Ball in front of him. Here comes Ross. Matthew Stowell recovers quickly. Thompson in behind him now. Southport just won themselves a free kick. The challenge by Stowell. Over enthusiastic, I think. And again, Southport in no hurry. David Gamble on the left foot will whip this one in, Peter.
Yes, I'm sure, but I'm just looking over here, see nothing given away. Slough 2 up front.
Gamble with it! Oh, just over there. And Slough Town now propose of the evening, of the afternoon, sorry. On the...
Substitution for Slough Town.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. I can't believe this substitution at all. This McGuinness has been absolutely outstanding, and particularly in the last half an hour, as these centre halves have been dragged all over. But obviously it's a tactical move, and
Mark West.
And going straight up front, they've got to take a gamble.
They certainly are doing. And Brian McDermott, who's been sent off incidentally, shuffles the pack. And this is the man, Mark West, in whom he puts his trust. Southport caught offside again, marginally really, by Steve Morris. But again, Mr. Coddington and his assistants getting it absolutely right.
But if Morris and Ross now just keep starting and looking across the line, as Slough are pushing more and more forward, there's more space at the back. He doesn't need to go as early. Just got to be aware of it.
Here's Ross for Southport, into Morris. Morris is onside. Stephen Morris with a tame shot at the end of it, as Brian Ross made up the ground to meet him. But again, good defending by Terry Angus, who recovered so quickly. Southport will find themselves now with a little bit more space, and they've won a free kick.
Again, trying to turn him, but Morris unlucky. Just ball was hanging in the air, wouldn't come down. I just got a feeling that he wanted another touch, because that one more touch in the box, we'd have been asking a few questions from Angus then. We might have been looking at penalties and so on. But again, Ross turned the centre half Bailey there. They do not look the same players.
Southport have a free kick, and it's David Gamble, whips it through, a stinger on the back of Gary Brazil. Corey Brown now is away from Tim Ryan. Good defending by Ryan, well recovered. Corey Brown feels he should have had the free kick. Slough look a little rattled now to me. Gary Smart, good approach play with Gary Brazil on the ball now. Mark West the substitute, forward by him quickly, and Billy Stewart just adjusted his position to gather that one. Up through to Danny Bailey. Southport looking for offside. Slough with the throw, and it's they now asking the questions. Just over 10 minutes to go here at Hague Avenue. Southport 1, Slough Town 1 on the day. And that would be enough for them to go to Wembley. But this game may yet twist and turn. Gamble for Southport. Steve Morris drives it forward again. Again, Brian Ross in a lot of space on the right. Just catches the ball in. Morris has arrived. Gamble's in the box now. Southport stay patient. Kevin Formby in an acre of space here on the left. Ross keeps up the ball in the corner. Just kills some time for Southport. It's yet a little early to do that for them. But they've given Slough possession again. Gamble takes it up for Southport. On the left foot, David Gamble. Very speculative effort, even by his standards.
And got a knock there by Bailey, as he did. You know, not a silly shot really, but too far out at this stage of the game on this sort of pitch. But again, you know, you can hear the crowd around us saying, you know, it's a bit too late, too long to go to be holding the game up like that. No, should have been going for the juggler. There was a prime opportunity for me to attack the goal again and go for the juggler and get the third goal. There's one thing for certain, Slough won't come back then.
Coming back, what?
I'm going to get you on here, Ed.
So tense racing for me enjoying the game.
Oh, he's back. That's good.
Attitude for Slough Town, number 14, on the way to the
Southport with some defending to do now. Tim Ryan driving it forward. Ross is offside, and Gamble hasn't heard the whistle, I don't think. So Southport, Slough Town, sorry, have introduced their second substitute now, Lloyd Owusu, and I hope I don't have to say that name too many times. Is on, another striker, a boy who scored 4 goals on his league debut. Slough Town throwing the strikers in now. Here is Owusu, good ball forward to Smart, and West, can he turn? Feeds it back. Too many Yellow and black shirts defending the ball.
Good defending, closing the play down, you know. It's a difficult time when, you know, anxiety has obviously got to creep in. They've just got to keep doing exactly what they're doing. Just interesting to sit around here, isn't it? We can sit here and enjoy this game, but there's people connected with Southport here. Kevin Warburton sitting next to me, and I've never seen anybody so tense in my life in the last 5 minutes.
Well, a tense ball from Kevin Formby. The jitters now for Southport. 6 minutes away from the FA Umbro Trophy final. But Slough Town putting on the pressure. Oh, and a ball from Ross to Gamble. Wasted by Gamble. A lot of space forward now for Morris and Ross, as Slough Town have gambled at the back. They're throwing men forward now.
And as we said earlier, if Rossi and Morris just hold the line a little bit now, they don't have to make them. You know, before we were just halfway in the Slough half. Now we're talking about the space coming from over the halfway line.
Absolutely. Gary Brazil drives it forward, looks for West, and the substitute certainly looking to be a handful for Tim Ryan. Danny Bailey, whose goal set the tie on fire on 30 minutes. It's a long ball drifted in. Stewart comes, and Billy Stewart, who's had an exemplary display this afternoon, takes the ball. Corey Brown remonstrates. Just sat alongside me here, Kevin Warburton, the commercial manager at Southport. Can you enjoy a game like this, Kevin?
No, not one little bit.
Southport have possession. The injured player, I think, was Gary Smart, the right back. He's back on the field. Stewart drives it forward. Deep header back from Angus all the way to Wilkerson. And Wilkerson steps outside the box with the ball. Southport take it quickly. And the referee did not stop the play there, Peter. If Brian Ross had been a yard sharper, that would have been curtains for Slough Town.
Well, that would have been interesting, but I think Rossi's now turning around saying he didn't know. It could have been, you know, he had to be alive to the situation. A golden opportunity to put the game beyond belief. But I'd like to see the Slough reaction. had it gone its full metre and gone in, I really would.
Goodness me. Steve Morris, very quick thinking from him there. David Gamble in with a thunderous challenge. Butcher steady as ever at the back. This last 5 minutes will be an eternity up here in the director's box at Southport for all these people who've worked so hard for this club to take them so close to Wembley Stadium and the FA Trophy final.
And I think that's important, Alan. You mustn't forget that. You know, as I said early right at the beginning of this game, in non-league football nowadays, there's an awful lot of work goes on behind the scenes, and these are times where you just hope that glory can be at Wembley to reward all the backroom staff, and especially have worked for so many years here from going out of the league.
Yeah, it's a credit to Southport Football Club. Charles Clapham and his team have guided them in this wonderful non-league stadium, which would grace the Football League without a problem, Peter.
Oh, no question. But only shot to grace at the moment. That's an excellent ball. Excellent ball.
Here's Brian Ross in the corner. Now he can take some time. Formby's up from the back and causing problems again, Kevin Formby.
Not happy at all, Slough, when they're being asked questions when they've given this ball wide. You're looking a yard slower than they were, and Southport have just got to keep the shape, keep their heads as they have done all this second half. Not one of them retaliated, not one of them has lost their head.
Yeah, superb display that, and a credit to Paul Futcher. Southport with the corner. Wilkerson will take that one cleanly, quickly out with the ball, but he's wasted it. And Tim Ryan drives it back into the corner. One for David Thompson to chase. Good defending by Thompson. Right up in the corner. pinning back Slough Town.
Seeing he's just come out from injury, you know, he's stood the pace well and had an outstanding game.
Yes, David Thompson, an experienced pro, of course, and Southport now with a free kick on the edge of the Slough Town box. David Gamble is the specialist, of course. As Brian Ross peels away. Hercules got it right. Butler with a shot! Lovely save that from Paul Wilkerson. As Brian Butler holds his head in his hands. A superb strike from the same position virtually that Danny Bailey opened the scoring.
Keep the pressure on.
Yeah, the minutes now eating away, chewing away for Slough Town. Southport very close. Gamble! Oh, goodness me! I think it hit Steve Morris.
It did.
It was goal bound, and it hit Stephen Morris. Well, another let off for Slough. Could it yet be their day? Oh dear.
No, well, I sincerely hope not, but I can't see it at this moment in time. But there's a bit of unlucky, the superb left foot strike, and Morris is bending down to get out of the way, and it hits his back.
It did, but here he is again. Steve Morris chasing the ball into the corner. As ever, he's got Cliff Hercules for company, but he's quite happy to leave the ball down there in the corner.
He's on the corner flag. He's not in six, just eating balls in the air, and that's been the big difference this second half.
A superb tactical second half performance from Paul Futcher's team as Ross looks to turn Angus again. Again, the referee, Mr. Coddington, having none of it, but Slough Town could yet have a twist in the tail in this game. Danny Bolt forward into the substitute Owusu, and Owusu will win himself a corner. Vital last seconds now for Southport. The kitchen sink arrives for Slough, I think.
Well, I've just seen the referee look at the linesman. The thumb's gone up from the linesman. The time's been played, so here's the last throw of the die for Slough. Just got to hope, defend well, and Southport have got a good defensive record.
And this is how Southport, how close they are to Wembley. One corner away, perhaps. Futcher, the man to clear, as ever. But then the ball given away by Thompson. Slough throwing everybody forward now. Gary Brazil, wide left, whips it in. There's Futcher again. An absolutely exemplary display from the manager. Southport come away with David Gamble. Slough don't seem to have the legs, but Brian Ross does. Brian Ross, Bailey just gets there ahead of him. Slough Town didn't seem to have the legs for the chase back then. They'd certainly look a beaten team to me now. Southport minutes, seconds away from the FA World Trophy final. It sounds good, doesn't it? We're nearly there. An offside against Morris, who just couldn't in time.
As you'd expect, the game's got absolutely fanatic at the moment, but that's Slough have got to throw all the eggs into one basket, and everybody just wheeling the referee to blow that whistle.
5,000 voices baying for the referee to blow. A few hundred Slough fans behind the goal may well be going home. They've made the long trip up from Berkshire, and Corey Brown, who's had a frantic afternoon, lashes out at Ryan, but Tim Ryan keeps patient, doesn't retaliate, and that's been a measure of Southport's performance for me, Peter. They really have kept their heads.
Professional, discipline, exemplary performance by the manager, exemplary leadership, and it's the first time I've seen the season, and I've been impressed by that discipline. I mean, Brown there getting himself all het up and eating for nothing. Silly.
Yeah, well, Slough Town had a grip firmly on this game up to half-time.
And all of a sudden the fingers of Slough are pointing and pointing
and
pointing, and
I don't think they wanted the half-time whistle to blow Slough. They were doing so well, so dominant, and it really has been, if you pardon the cliche, a game of two halves.
I'm just interested to see the reaction of people like Angus at the full-time, because he's pointing the finger now.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to see what happens at the full-time. I hope nothing silly from Slough, because they've been well and beaten over 2 games.
Well, Southport, who did the hard work at Wexham Park, as Brown goes thundering in on Butler. Butler keeps possession into the corner again. Steve Morris happy to see the ball out. Brian Coddington looks at the watch. We're over the 45, we're over the 90. Southport with one hand on a place in the trophy final. So close now to Wembley for Southport. But Slough Town again. 10 white shirts. Gambling, Stewart comes. A lovely punch from Billy Stewart, who's had a great game. Now Morris, nobody ahead of him. No legs left, I don't think. As Gamble, he's got Thompson away on the right. David Gamble for Southport. All the way, David Gamble! And a good save at the end of it from Paul Wilkerson. Well, that was intelligent by David Gamble.
Absolutely superb by the young man to go all the way. He'd got options left, right, but to take the ball on and force a save out the keeper. And within 10 seconds, you'd gone from one end. A magnificent save again by Billy Stewart. Positive goalkeeping. And we'll drag a bit of time out now in the corner with Thompson.
Offside.
Not a bad time for the referee to blow out now.
Southport officials, supporters, very anxious here in the big stand at Say Hague Avenue. And an eternity of stoppage time being played.
From my point of view, as a coach and as involved in professional football, I do want to reiterate that I think the referee has had an outstanding, all three officials.
As Southport won themselves a goal kick, time eating away. The Hague Avenue faithful know that they're inches away now from Wembley Stadium and the FA Trophy final.
I think the ball will come over the halfway line and the referee will blow, but he's been exemplary.
He has had a good game. Man of the match, Brian Coddington, the referee. Again, it's up with Ross and Angus. Angus has little left to offer. What's he given? What's he given? Free kick to Southport. Angus holding Brian Ross. Southport in no hurry to take this free kick. Into the corner by Futcher. He knows exactly what he's doing. Cheap goal kick given. Mr. Coddington from Sheffield. It's in his hands now. He's got the whistle, and still he doesn't blow. And still Southport hold on. Paul Futcher, who has never played at Wembley. Over 600 Football League appearances.
Well, he's going to now.
And he certainly is. Southport have done it. The long wait. It's 1-1 on the day. The fans have their glory. Southport have done the business. And Peter, I'll give you the last word. Thank you.
Absolutely magnificent performance by Southport. Delighted for everybody associated with the club, and just hope they can go on and have a super day in the trophy and enjoy the day. Win or lose, and I hope it's win. Enjoy the day, everybody associated with the club.
So the FA Umbo Trophy Final 1998 will be contested between Southport and Cheltenham Town. A superb afternoon here at Hague Avenue, a super game of football, and the result 1-1 puts Southport to Wembley. Final score, Hague Ave, Slough 1, Southport 1, in the frame videos. Thank you very much. Start with video for Southport.
Wait for the champagne. No, let him in at the far end of the buffet.
That's the cameras in.
That's for the buffet. The buffet, right? Just take everybody in, you know.
I've been knocked out of 2 semi-finals, so this is the 3rd one, so I was keeping my fingers crossed, and the lads have done magic, haven't they? Great.
Rather nice. Will that do? Absolutely.
One
Bloody
word
brilliant.
answers from Dave Thompson, yeah. What? What this?
You want to ask me again?
Doesn't need this. Yeah.
It's nice to make a bit of history.
That's well done.
One, two, three. Paul Fitcher, manager of Southport, centre half this afternoon. You've been to Wembley before, have you?
No, it's the first for me. No, it's the first. It's 41 years old. First down at Wembley. I'm as thrilled as the lads. I mean, the highlight of my career, most definitely.
It was a very steady performance today, particularly the second half. What did you change at half time, Paul?
Well, we went to a 4 at the back second half. We just upped it. We just let the occasion get to us first half, and they got the goal. To be fair to them, they were up for it. They were sharp. They were bright. You know, they were first to the ball. Second half, we were better all round, more collective, and the lads showed the character, determination, and deserved everything they got. Absolutely delighted.
We're getting the soak in here, just briefly. Did the crowd help you today, Paul?
Tremendous. 45,000 got behind us, made a hell of a noise. Absolutely delighted for everybody at the football club, the players, the chairman especially, and most of all the supporters.
And we'll look forward to a day in May now in Cheltenham Town, eh?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we can look forward to the May the 17th. Yeah, definitely.